Good morning, yellow planetary sun. The highest form of consciousness manifests itself in the wavespell of the blue monkey. Illusion, magic, play. The inner child, the trickster. But it's not just the inner highest form of consciousness, surely it's also life itself. I had quoted this Native American saying before, if the child in the man dies, the man dies. Or if the child in the man is dead, the man is not alive either. Whichever way. Yeah. But the higher forms of consciousness, they are light. And I mean, in terms of weight, it's a very light way of being. It's humorous, it's playful. Wisdom is playful, it's funny. It's very innocent and childlike. And with that, I could stop this episode because I've said it all. That just says it all as far as I'm concerned. We can't get there by force. We can't get there by desire. We get there by life. Life begets life and transforms itself. The yellow sun has her analog kin, the blue storm, auto-generation, catalyzed energy. It's a part of itself. And it has the red dragon in the occult, nurture, birth, being, mother energy. It nurtures itself, it births itself, it auto-generates and births itself. And then it has a white dog in the antipod, love, and others, and community. And therein lies a challenge. If it's not integrated. Consciousness without the love, it is love. Doesn't have to be, but children are usually meant to be born out of love. The act of love making. To some culture that maybe no, it's the act of sex, love making. What you're talking about, crap. It is A plus B equals C. Love has nothing to do with it. That is how procreation just simply works. It's just a mechanical process. Yeah, it's true. That's true. So maybe we can cut all the love crap. Just mechanically reproduce. And then see what happens. I don't know. I'm also not talking love in a sort of Western understanding of it, which is very biased and very personal and very based on maybe chemistry or maybe liking. I'm talking about universal love. The yellow sun represents universal love when integrated with the white dog. And universal love is universal love. There's no point whatsoever to talk about it. It's either we know it because we are it, or we don't. In which case we also don't really recognize it. And it doesn't have to be once you know it and you are it, you always know it. You always are it, but you don't always know it. So it can come and go. Enlightenment can come and go. It's fine. It's meant to be like that. Pulsing. The rhythmic sun in the wave spell of the blue eagle. Its own earth family. To the mind, to creation. Enlightenment is rhythmic. Not to creation, but to a creative mind. Maybe? Comes and goes. I mean, as a human, I suppose. Maybe there are humans on the planet where it just stays. I don't know. I don't know. Enlightenment is one of those things like, it's so quintessential, and yet something in me says, we just don't need it. Like, it's not that we don't need it, it's quintessential. It's such a paradox. It's like the most, I mean, yeah, it's a question of perspective. Everything is enlightened. Enlightenment is. There's nothing that's not that. But that statement only holds true if we include everything. Universal love. You can't exclude anything from that. As soon as you do, the whole thing collapses. A different order of reality appears. We're guided by the yellow star today. Art, harmony, beauty, and elegance. 2 years ago, I was born on the day of the Planetary Sun. And got to integrate that for 1 year. It was the first year in my life where I was really 1 year, of the whole year I was conscious of who I was. And interestingly, now that I reflect back through my own judgment, I completely saw myself as falling short on the yellow star. The yellow sun, okay, I kind of manifested, or I felt I was seeing in that year the manifestation of all I had become. Light and shadow. Everything showed itself, and everything always shows itself, but I had my antennas tuned that way to receive that, to perceive myself. And I had my filters on in a way that I did not see the elegance, the art, or the beauty of it. I didn't. I really felt rather unelegant and very unartful. And that's a perspective or a perception. Art is in the eye of the beholder. So is beauty. And the eye of this here beholder wasn't seeing it. Not to the degree that I expected it. Let's put it that way. And I didn't see it where it was. Especially since, I mean, it's the guide energy. If we, what the guide energy. I'm a magnetic sun, so I only know guide energy. I only really know how to be guided by myself. It's not easy for me either to accept guidance from others. That has to be delivered in a very specific way that I can take it, or I have to specifically ask for it, which I rarely do. I'm self-guided. And all seals 1, 6, and 11 are self-guided. But being guided as a sun by the star, I didn't feel like get into this. Let my guiding star be beauty. And today we are there. Let our guiding star be harmony, beauty. And it's interesting in my own perception, where I see disharmony, it can occasionally really, really pain me. It can frustrate me. It can be like, oh, this is like a Sisyphus thing. I keep creating this order and beauty, and before you know it, it's just turned on its head, unnecessarily so. And yeah, I've always been like that. I've always been an untidy child. I pulled out everything to play, and then I didn't put it back. I've always been like that. And part of that is, I think, a bit of a rebellion to my environment, which was pathologically tidy. Now I still carry aspects of that with me. And to find a balance, I don't want to be pathologically tidy nor rebelliously untidy. But where is the balance? But what I wanted to say is that a certain level of disorder or disharmony, I perceive it, but it pains me so that I immediately dissociate from it. The ability to dissociate is life-saving for sure. It's really, really important. I can function in an environment that I could otherwise not function in. As a child, we survive environments we could actually not survive. We survive. We function. But do we thrive? Do we? And here comes the antipode to the antipodal energy to the yellow star is the white mirror, truth. It needs to be integrated. If we're dissociating, there's a truth, there's something we can't take. There's something that's so disturbing. Maybe it's my sense of disempowerment. Maybe it's, I can analyze it now, but I don't even want to. It's just like something's there. So if I go into some sort of analysis mode, that may even be an indicator of avoidance, further avoidance. I deal with the problem, but I'm not dealing with it at all. I pay attention to it, I analyze it, I think about it. It gives me a sense of I'm addressing the issue. But effectively I'm not, because it doesn't make me change my actions. Blue hand. It doesn't make me change what I do. If it doesn't make me change what I do, I'm not healing. I'm just stirring in the pot, but I'm not changing anything. And this is a very common pattern. It's as if, to me it feels right now as if there's a dead end, so I don't bother going down that dead end. And certain spiritual teachings of the day are reminding us, you may have gone down these roads in the past and found a dead end. And now you come, since we're going around in circles, you come past that passage again and you assume that's a dead end. I'm not going down there. And the instruction is, please go down there, because things have changed. Whether or not it's still a dead end, you have changed. Please go down that road. And yeah. Avoidance, dissociation, separation, and the ability to hold. We are multidimensional beings. We are very multifaceted beings. Maybe not everyone, but many of us, to whatever degree. Well, it's a spectrum. And to hold space for several of them at the same time, I think that is sometimes very necessary and very healing. And in the past, that wasn't possible. It was either or. And I grew up in a world where it was constantly about either or. Make a decision. You can't have it all. Blah, 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 blah. And it all holds true. And that's the thing. The new time is not, that is not true. We have something new. The new time, as far as I'm concerned, is like, yeah, that was true. In part, it still is true. But there is another dimension here, or there are other dimensions here where it's not true. And we have to be awake and aware to see where we are. We cannot be on autopilot any longer. Or at least not for a while. I don't know. It's a different way of being, to be aware and awake every time in the moment, and to really meet the moment on its own terms, in the moment, not on hindsight. We still do that, but that would be like, what do you mean meeting the moment in the moment? If you meet the moment only on hindsight, oh, I should have done that. Now I realize what happened there. Now I realize I felt uncomfortable. Now I realize I really wanted that instead of that. I didn't realize at the time. Because at the moment, at the time, something well, one way of looking at it is like something hijacked our attention, or we were maybe distracted, or we were in thinking mode, or we were in autopilot, or we were in protective mode, or a combination of these, or any other, whatever, there's a lot there. Why we can oftentimes not be fully present. Or maybe we really focus on one thing, some other thing. And then suddenly another moment came, and because we're still so focused on that thing, we just autopiloted the other moment. And I mean, the other thing in that same moment, you know what I mean? And that level, in my experience, that level of presence, it's such a door opener. It's a door opener. In traditional Chinese medicine, you have all these acupuncture points on the ears. And there is the Shen Men point, the spirit gate. And it's a good point to stimulate for or against whatever, to help with anxiety, with sleeplessness, with inner calm, that kind of thing. A couple more. And why is that? Because we become intensely present. In presence, spirit can know itself through us, the yellow human, white wind combination. Spirit, breath, presence. Anxiety is like a panic attack is the highest form of leaving the moment. Probably. Anxiety is like a lower form, but it can be maintained. A panic attack can't be maintained. It's like lightning. You can't have it all the time. It's like you can have it often, but you can't have it ongoingly. It's lightning strike. But anxiety, it's like sunlight. You can have it all the time. And it's its own dimension. You can be extremely present with anxiety and become more and more anxious. Being present with anxiety, in my books, it requires something else so that presence with anxiety becomes healing. For the unprepared mind, presence with anxiety just increases anxiety. Something else is required. For example, love. For example, nurturance, trust. For example, the energy of transformation that comes from that. The blue storm activates is through our consciousness in ourselves. And it can storm up anxiety, or it can storm up peace. You can have the calm before the storm. You can have the eye of the storm. You can have the cleansed air calm after the storm. There's always a calm when it comes to a storm. But you have to know where to place yourself. You have to know where you are. Are you? Where are you? And make wise decisions. And when we're very good at dissociating, we don't realize, because that's the blue monkey too. That's the inner child. It's learned to dissociate. It's learned to just split its part of its own consciousness off, and it's not aware of what hurts. When bad mom, good mom, when mom is good, all is well. When mommy suddenly starts yelling and screaming, or I don't know, whatever, we can't as a child look at the mother and say, oh, there is this mother who's nice to me and there's that mother who's not nice to me. We can't. We split ourselves. I can't really explain this well, but someone explained this really, really well. And when I heard that, it was like, oh my gosh, thank you. Yeah. Because the child will always protect the mother. Always. And yeah, how many women get children because they want to get unconditional love. Shame. Yeah. Anyway, if we or anything we practice, we get good at, and if we do it in our childhood, it's in the unconscious. We're not aware of it, and we keep doing it. And when we, I don't know if you sometimes you notice it in another, you point it out, and they don't react with gratitude. Oh, I don't know. Oh, shame. humans. Anyway, we can only, I think we can, I mean, we gotta start with ourselves. Starts with ourselves. The world is a reflection of us. The peace or the war or the, it's all a reflection of us. It's all a system that works with us. I speak so much about that, I'm not going to go back there now. You find yourself, know yourself, be yourself, be your highest self, and you will find there's maybe not only peace, but the dominant frequency is. But, yeah, here we go, spiritual bypassing. And just as some voice in me says, well, Tatiana, because I'm checking over my own landscape, and like, yeah, if you've got your back to the pile of dump, you're only going to see a beautiful landscape in front of you. What's behind you? We don't have eyes behind us. And in our world, we can turn around and we can see what's behind us, but we can't see what's on our backs. Isn't that funny? That's what we need each other for. And then we have to have people around us who we trust, that they can reflect what we don't see faithfully, without agenda, truthfully, without hurting us or manipulation or whatever. I mean, that's what friends are for, right? Manipulation, hurting us. Lol. Yeah. So the guide, when we don't know, maybe today, since I've spoken about all of this, and even in me, I'm like, where's my shadow? Where do I not see my dissociation? Where am I in? I see everything rose-colored. And then one thing I'm really glad about for myself, because it hasn't always been like that, right now, if someone comes to me and says, we see everything rose-colored or whatever, it's like, it doesn't bug me at all. It's like, yeah, you might be right there. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with myself. I'm okay with seeing the world the way I see it, because it works for me. But a little while ago, someone said to me, please leave me in denial. Don't change that for me, or don't try for me to change it, because it works for me. And I was looking at that person thinking, it doesn't, and you're not realizing that. And that is so blue monkey. That is like the illusions the monkey can create for itself. It pushes me close to the edge of despair, because, yeah, right now I said I'm okay with that, but there's that other side that's like, no, we're not. Like, I have a need for truth. And if I'm pulling the wool over my own eyes, I mean, whatever. If I live with you, then maybe there's an issue that also concerns me. If we're if we're swimming in the same fish tank, certain things around you concern me too. They affect me. It will affect my reality. But then why am I swimming in that fish tank? But, yeah, I could jump to another fish tank if I can. But if I don't, there's something here to work with. And that's mutually beneficial. Running away sometimes is so much easier. Leaving the fish tank is so much easier. Dying is easier. And being sick is easy, although it's the hardest path. But if we don't have the tools, if we just simply don't know that there's an entirely different way of dealing with life, of living life, we don't know it. There's no awareness. There is nothing to be done about it. Then we walk that path of whatever path we're on. But presence, spirit gate, Shenmen point, if I'm saying it right. Find out where it is and stimulate it for yourselves. It's really, really interesting. You can buy these ear seeds, they're called. They cost nothing. Order 100 of them. They are already made on plasters, or you get them with a little metal. I bought a bunch of magnetic gold-covered balls, tiny little marbles. They're really small. I spoke about that already. And then you stick it on, and you leave it on, and let it do its thing. And be present with that, what it does. You can maybe just become present, more present, and see what shows up. And if it's overwhelm, see how we react. Do we check out? How do we react to overwhelm? Do we go into addiction? Oh, I need some alcohol just to calm down. I need to sit and zone out in front of Netflix. And that's all fine. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. Excess and, like you can always give yourself a break, obviously, but are we dealing? And it's so nice to be in a community of friends and people where everyone deals with themselves in an awake manner. And there's a lot of compassion going around there. And there's a lot of help going around there. There's a lot of, yeah, I hear you. There's a lot of that. And it's very nurturing. It's very, people who turn on their inner sun, who tune to that frequency, are very nurturing. Because they're learning to integrate the dog and love. And self-love, self-respect. Then respect towards others or being respected is a no-brainer. It's not an issue. It's like, and letting others have their opinions of the same thing that you may have a very different opinion of. It's all like, yeah, that's fine. We're all good here. It's like to be so self-sufficient that others are not needed to affirm or to appease or to regulate. We are self-regulating, auto-generating. Our nervous system is self-regulating. That's how we're meant. That's how we're built. That's how we're designed. And maybe we've taken this journey into knowing how we're not meant, how we're not designed. So to know the design. I don't know. It's like you give a bunch of 3-year-olds or 5-year-olds or 10-year-olds a key to a shopping mall and with everything in, and say, just you go in there. There are adults around to check that you're safe. You're not going to start playing or messing with power tools and hurt yourselves or each other. There are people around for that. But other than that, go into that mall. It has playgrounds. You can eat what you want. You can have what you want. You can do what you want. The first thing when they get hungry isn't going to be to go to the salad bar. It's just not likely. So it's maturity is not like, oh, boring, it's not fun, we can't have sweets anymore, we have to have boring salads. If we believe that, we can build in a real block towards maturity. No, maturity means having a balanced appetite, which enjoys any kind of sweet thing anytime it wants to, but it isn't going to want anything that isn't going to hurt itself. But it's going to have every experience of sweetness and even more through some of the limited avenues that a child knows. But as we mature, we open up avenues of pleasure that a child has no idea about. None. Zero. And as we mature, it's not just within a lifetime, but across many lifetimes, you find people who are a little less mature, a little less old in soul terms maybe than yourself. They don't know certain things as pleasure that you know. They have no concept of it. You can't talk about it either, really, because, I mean, if they're close, then they'll start picking up their ears. And it's like, oh yeah, tell me more. I'm interested. If they're still far, it's like, ugh. But yeah, pleasure need not be lived in excess. Everything in balance. The system is in balance, and in balance it's beautiful. It's harmonious, guided by the yellow star. It's balance. Harmony is balance. And then every movement, everything becomes artful. And I really have to admit there is a lack of artfulness that I perceive. I can accept that. I can accept that as the sum of the wounds. It's part of my wounding. It's part of my dissociative patterns, which I've also taken in this lifetime. And I realize that going at it from the outside, I'm going to force myself to create. It doesn't work. It has to come naturally from an inner balance. And that's a work in progress. And that's all right. I've shifted. I noticed just now I've shifted my frequency from the edge of despair on this topic towards something softer and more towards ease and joy. And that's a route. That's like I've gone down that cul-de-sac, and I realize it's true. It's different. And it isn't a cul-de-sac anymore. I can see it now. Wow. They changed it. It used to be a cul-de-sac. Then I didn't go down this for years. I haven't gone down here, or whatever the case may be. Oh, now I'm here. It's open. It's open. And I wonder, I just recently learned something else about the body. When certain muscles when we don't do certain movements anymore, the muscles start realizing that movement is not coming or needed, or I don't know, whatever. Talk about universal waters, red moon. On the blue storm, in order to activate the moon when it's really, really stagnant, it takes a very strong storm, even in our bodies. There's softer ways to go about it through the human, through our choice, through awareness, and through who else is attached to the moon? Who's blue on the moon? Storm. Who's white on the moon? The dog. Love. All three, human, love, and storm, together can do it. And here's what I want to talk about. Apparently the muscles, the cells, they start forming let me not say it wrong, a kind of like is it like a hydrogen bond? Or they form like a semi-fixed, it's still easy to break that. When that process starts, it can still be changed. Massaging changes the muscles. It creates more. That's why I'm telling you, it doesn't matter. Have yourself massaged so that even if it helps from the outside. If that doesn't happen in time, apparently they form a sulfur bond, and that can't be broken open anymore, at least not according to Western medicine. And it's pretty tragic, but we see it all the time. And it becomes such hard structures. They are now fixed. And what is the body? Slow-moving mind. So we would have to be able to understand, okay, this part of your body, which can no longer move, corresponds to this part of your mind which you aren't moving. You're not going there. And dissociation is a major player in this thing, because we've cottoned off certain areas, even already in childhood, that some point becomes that kind of, at some point much, much later, I think life gives us the opportunity to heal. The child survives, then we grow into adulthood, and then we have to undo the survival mechanisms and rebalance. And the body does it probably naturally, given a chance. And wherever that doesn't happen, it will tell us. And then we can look at it. And we need to be present and aware to catch it when it starts, to catch it early. Not when it's already sulfurized or whatever, formed into, when muscles become bone hard, unchangeable. And yet, strictly speaking, we should be able to reverse that. The analog, the medicine, the medicine is the occult, the medicine, always, the wave spell always goes backwards in time, which means in some way we can heal the past, we can heal the mental patterns, we can heal the splits, and it will transform the body, even from everything. Yeah. But how? Oh, so many ways to kill a cat. There's so many ways to get there. And the start of that journey, no matter which path it then is for a person, the start of that journey is called pure intent. We have got to want that. And very many times we say, yeah, we want it. Yeah, of course I want full motion. Yes, of course I want to be healthy. And we don't realize the part of ourselves that doesn't. That's the split. That's the dissociation. That's the thing. There's a part in us that doesn't, and it's unconscious. And yeah, man, it throws open a can of worms. It throws open a can of worms that I know I'm seeing it right now, and part of me is thinking, I want to address that. And or another part of me is like, no, you don't. Shut it down, shut it down. It's exactly that mechanism. Shut it down. And being present with that mechanism, just don't shut it down. Because the next thing that comes in, okay, think about it, analyze it. Part of me is like, yeah, but that analysis is futile. Another part is like, oh no, it's not, because you're really doing something about it. Another part is like, no, you're just avoiding. Another part is like, yeah, if it's avoidance, analyze. So it's like a whole cross wiring going on there. So many, it's just confusing the heck out of my system. And then it was shut down from exhaustion. And then who wins? The one who wants me to forget. Usually, not always, but in this particular case, I can just see that that's how it can go. So where's my medicine? Today is easy for me because as a son, the dragon is always my medicine. Nurturance, love, the motherly love. I like to say it's okay. Let's look at it. I'm here. You're not alone. You're safe. And you can let it be transformed by the storm. You don't have to do it yourself. You have the system has what it takes to heal itself. Don't worry about it. And you don't have to find an answer just because you're noticing something that you want to have a very strong reaction to. You don't have to have a strong reaction to it. You can just notice it. In fact, there's a power in awareness, and a lot of awareness is disturbed by reactivity. Let it be. And the thing I'm observing, I need to be able to see it in myself, not run from it, not go into despair because I come to that point where I don't know what to do about it. I don't know what to do about it. And this is like a nightmare. That's where helplessness, when your mother starts beating down on you and you're kind of like 3 years old and you don't understand the world, it's like that level of helplessness, that level of confusion. It's your mother. It just makes, the world stops making sense. And forever after, you're prepared to accept that things don't make sense. We live in a world where people accept nonsense to a degree that you have to ask yourself, are we insane? Honestly. And we can't see it in ourselves. I can't see it in myself either. I can't see the nonsense I'm accepting. Because to me, that's my reality. And that's a blue monkey, totally. That's a split. And to become aware of some of that, is you need to be a little strong for that, or you need to have a little bit of a support around you. Because it's when your reality starts wobbling, when you start realizing the illusions, or the lies, or the split. I mean, the reason we split is because something was extremely painful. Confusion, inability to act, inability to move. When, nothing works. Fight, flight, pretend you're dead and fawning, whatever, those four. If none of them work, you can't run, you can't die, you can't stay, you can't fight, you can't defend yourself, you can't die. What are you going to do? And that's torture. And a lot of children experience that. It's horrific. And then we wonder why the world is in the state that it's in. It's all adults who have been tortured in some form. And it's enough. With different sensitivities. So for some it's enough to get to get a little something. Which another is like, pfft. But it disturbs the trajectory of development for a moment so significantly because of who it comes from. And the mother, the mother wound is very significant. It's very, very significant. And because it also determines the kind of mother we become to ourselves. And that determines the state of the inner child. It determines everything. It determines everything. Planetary Sun in this wave spell. And the mother, the red dragon, the sun shows up tomorrow, it's on tone 11. She comes to liberate that energy, the archetype, not the distressed mother, but the loving, nurturing mother, the archetype of that primal trust frees us. And then we have, I'm thinking Shenmen point, sun and dragon and spirit, white wind on 12, cooperative. It all happens at the same time, yeah? And then the abundance, cosmic night, dream time, intuition. It installs, it doesn't work when the mother-child bond is damaged, and when it's still damaged within us and we're living with it in that fashion. So if we want to heal it, we heal the archetype of the mother in ourselves, so we can, through our own consciousness, through observing, how are we dealing with ourselves, how are we dealing with the inner child and our partners, and or our children, and or our pets maybe. Oh, Yenny is scary. The way some people treat their dogs. They love them, but they yank on the chain, like, and the chain on the neck of the dog, and then you're yanking on it. Like, are you? Wow. Oh, no cooperation, no communication between the owner and the pet. No communication. And then you know what it's like inside the person. You can see. It's totally on display. The same with the driving style. It's the inner world on display. White mirror on 8. Integrity. The mirror reflects our integrity with ourselves. The mirror reflects, the life reflects the integrity between mother and child on the inside of us. So, and to that degree, we can nurture and birth ourselves and new versions of ourselves, and we can be playful and be sure to be protected by the mother inside us. That union works. And then we can planetary consciousness ourselves. We can manifest our own life in any way, shape, form, color, hue, sound we like. And we're gonna have the presence and the wherewithal to be aware of our environment and to be harmonious in our environment, because the yellow star guiding us today also has everything to do with the environment. The outer environment reflects the inner environment, and there will be harmony and balance and ease and art and beauty. I got my homework. And yet, yeah, that's the wrong way to say it. Oof, everything in me goes again like, what? Are you betraying us again? What do you mean homework? Ah, gosh, can't use these words. They're so loaded. Can we play with that? I used to enjoy playing school. When I used to play school before I went to school, homework was never a part of it. Just sitting there listening to a teacher. I love that. And was I the teacher or was I the student? And I think I always wanted to be the teacher. I didn't know how to write, but I want to teach you how to write. Why is that? Anyway, I am done. I wish us a beautiful day. Projecting ourselves into the world and seeing our own projection. Oh, shit. Long way to go? Or really close to the goal? I mean, if we're running a marathon, 50 kilometers, 20 kilometers, whatever, 50 kilometers. By kilometer 10, we're like, yeah, in our flow, jump, 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 jump. By kilometer 40, 45, we might be like, there's no end in sight. This is eternal. This will never end. This is the worst ever. I'm the furthest from the goal ever. At kilometer 10, the 40 kilometers ahead of you feel like, it's nothing. I got this. I'm almost there. When you're 5 kilometers from the end, you're like, I'll never get there. This is the longest fucking 5 kilometers ever. The first 5 kilometers are short. The last 5 kilometers are infinite. Maybe not for every marathon runner, but you know, you get my point. It's like, And I'm looking at a few things and I'm thinking, where in my process am I? Do I have a very long 40 kilometers ahead of me? Or do I actually have a very short 5 kilometers ahead of me, but it feels like a huge effort? And you know what, in the case of a marathon runner, it doesn't just feel like a huge effort, it fucking is a huge effort. But hey, afterwards, the reward, I mean, it must be good. I'm not a marathon runner, but they keep doing it, so it must be good. It must be really good. There's this funny saying, shit must be delicious, a million flies can't be wrong. Oh, well. Okay. I keep holding my breath because I'm looking at it now and my nervous system is going like, I really don't want to look at this. And I have to learn to just be peaceful and look at this. And I can feel how my system is going like, want to split myself. I see how I don't want to see what I'm looking at. I don't want to see what I'm looking at. And it's like I'm looking at a pot plant that is not healthy. She's growing. She keeps on producing new leaves. Resilient. But this kind, they're all the ends, the leaves. Not all the leaves, but many leaves. Oh, beautiful flowers. She produces flowers. But the ends of the leaves are browning off some of the leaves. And that's the inner mother in me. It's like I couldn't be bothered to find out what the story is and then deal with you. I don't know why. I know why. Here's the answer. I'm not going to say it out loud. It's very personal, but it's like, oh my. Yeah, that's the thing. Certain things, when they happen in the past, and then you kind of sort of gloss over them in the moment because you just can't, there's just nothing you can do. And then later on, it's past, life goes on, we're back to happy clappy, life works, and then the glossed over disappears in memory, especially since it's painful memory. And we don't go back there, but the wound hasn't actually healed and starts showing itself. It starts showing itself usually in our health. And these pot plants are not mine, these particular ones. There's some plants in this house that are mine, I brought them in. There's some plants in this house that are not mine, I didn't bring them in. But you can't make someone else see what they don't want to see. And as a yellow sun, for me, it's like it's your responsibility to see. I go into rebellion when that doesn't happen. Or when certain nurturance or something wants to be had from me, when it's not for me to give that. I can nurture a healthy, but I can't nurture a sick. You gotta heal yourself. A doctor can't heal you. A doctor can only guide you towards healing yourself. And holistic healing will be if you put a little seed on your Shenmen point, watch, become present. It's probably the first, I don't know about this thing, but it might be a good point to start to teach yourself present. Now you have this plaster thing on your ear. What are you going to do with that? Every time you touch it, every time you feel it, what presence, what are you tuning into? Are you aware of changes, what it does with you, what speaks in you? Are you hearing your needs? We're so good at ignoring our own needs, and when some people they show us that we're ignoring our needs by being obnoxious about their own. And we don't realize that they are taking the double where we are having a half. And they may not like that either, but they belong to us because we are out of balance, and our imbalance is a part of their imbalance. We're not islands. We are a collective. And you can't rebalance them and say, oh, don't be so selfish, or don't be so need-driven, or don't be so needy, or don't be so this or that. It's like, yeah, you, yourself, me and myself, I'm too independent. I don't notice my needs. And if I notice them, I ignore them because for a host of reasons. Anyway, I wish it's a beautiful day. I've gone a bit serious all of a sudden. Says my Shen Men point. Oh, I'm noticing myself. Okay. Am I feeling okay in my body? Is my body feeling okay? Am I feeling comfortable? I am actually. I put a whole bunch of these seeds on my lower back points on my ears, and it's just opening the channel of my lower back, like it's opening the connections. I'm so aware of my back. It doesn't stop hurting, but I am so much more conscious of how I move and the love I put in there, and I'm listening to my lower back and to the rest of my body better because of it. And it tells me, oh, I need more glute muscle to support the back. I need more moving the lower back, a lot. Don't sit still for a long time. When you walk, anterior pelvic tilt, watch out for it. Put it underneath you. You're not used to it, so just walk slower so that you can be more aware of your posture and your support muscles in your legs. Wear barefoot shoes. I wear barefoot shoes. So like, okay, what is the surface underneath my feet? How am I meeting the ground with my feet? Am I stomping? Am I hitting the heels hard onto the concrete? Is there something I can do about that? Can I put my feet down in a slightly softer way without starting to do something weird? I can experiment with that. Am I rolling off my toes properly? Am I feeling the surface? If I have the option of walking on some sort of cobblestone versus a very smooth, straight pavement, I will walk on the cobbles because they are unsmooth. Any unsmooth surface I will walk on rather, even if it's hard, because it stimulates and it wakes up my foot muscles and wakes the yellow sun in my foot muscles. There's incidentally a sun point on the ear as well. I have to find out what that's all about. So it stimulating these points. What does it mean when I walk and I'm aware, I'm in the moment. I'm not in my head thinking about what was I doing yesterday? What was this one saying to me? What does the yellow sun mean? I'm not even analyzing the dream spell. I sit down there. I do this now. I could intentionally analyze the dream spell. But it's like I'm more present with my body. And as I talk about it, I'm back in my body and the joy is back. Now I'm going to transfer some of that joy to this plant. I don't know if it does anything. I'm not manipulating you. I'm just sharing some joy and building a bridge for myself to look at you, to be aware, to receive what you're saying to me, to look in the mirror and not be shocked and run away from myself. Oh yeah, there's another topic there. Lol. Okay, I'm stopping now. This is getting far too personal. I wish it's a beautiful day, insightful and loving and kind and playful and artful and harmonious and patient and above all loving. Present with love. Can we feel the love in ourselves? Whether it's sad love, whether it's happy love, whether it's joyful love, whether it's connective love, whether it's dissociative love, whether it's whatever. Can we feel the love sadness is a form of love. Sadness is sad love. I feel sad love right now. I do. Uh, all at the same time as feeling this lightness and this giggliness. It's all here. It's all here. And it may all be here. It's all welcome. It's all welcome. And there's the blue night, abundance, potential for healing. And then we have the seed wave spell coming up. So everything we're doing is flowing into the seed of our life for the next, we'll explore the theme for the next 13 days. So all of what we're doing is always nurturing our seeds. I think these plants have some issue at the root. Maybe there's root rot. Maybe it needs new earth. Root rot. Where do I have root rot? Where's my relationship experiencing root rot? If that's what it is. Root rot. Root rot. I'm going to find the acupuncture point for root rot. I'm on a man on a mission. That's not the woman in me that's on a mission. The woman in me doesn't do mission. It's definitely my inner masculine, my yang fire. You understand? Okay, take care. Till you hear me again. I Shenman Spirit Channel for us again.